Okay, we're we're on the internet now. Good morning, everyone. This is your first appearance hearing before the Magistrate Court of Clayton County. My name is Brad Gardner, and I'm a judge in this court. I am not here to conduct a trial of your case or to take a plea in your case. I am here to inform you of the charges that have been filed against you, to advise you of certain rights, to set bail on those offenses that I'm authorized to set bail, to schedule a preliminary hearing, and to determine whether you require the assistance of an attorney. You have the right to remain silent and say nothing, but should you give up this right, anything you say during this proceeding may be used against you if your case goes to trial. So please don't discuss the facts of your case. During this and all other proceedings, you have the following rights: the right to the presumption of innocence, the right to indictment by a grand jury for most felonies or by accusation for misdemeanors, the right to a speedy and public trial by jury, the right to see, hear, and question witnesses who are called to testify against you, the right to compel the attendance of witnesses to testify on your behalf, the right to testify on your own behalf or offer evidence in your own defense, the right to have an attorney represent you. If you cannot afford an attorney, one can be appointed to represent you if you qualify. Some of you will be allowed to post unrestricted bonds for your release from jail. These bonds may be posted by cash, commercial, or property. Some of you will also have special conditions on your bond that prohibit you from contacting certain people or going to certain places. This special condition will be provided to you on a separate form. You will also be prohibited from contacting the victim while you are in jail. If you violate the court's order, your bond will be revoked and you can remain in jail until your trial. You could also receive additional felony charges. It is important to note that if someone is listed as a victim in your case, that person will not be allowed to post your bond. Some of you are charged with offenses for which this court is not authorized by law to set bail. In this event, a bond hearing will be scheduled before a judge of the Superior Court of Clayton County, and you will be informed of that date. If you're currently on active probation, this court is not authorized to set bond at this time. Where the bond is appropriate in your case will be reconsidered after your probation officer has had an opportunity to consider this new arrest. The purpose of a preliminary hearing is to determine whether there is sufficient evidence to support the allegations against you. The standard at this stage is very low. A judge determining whether a charge goes forward at this stage only has to determine that it is possible that the crime occurred. Everyone has the ability to waive their right to a preliminary hearing. However, you should speak to a lawyer first if you are unsure about whether it is appropriate to waive your preliminary hearing. If you post bond, your preliminary hearing is automatically waived. You will receive notice at the address you give of your next court date. Lastly, I need everyone to raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm any statements you make during this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God? Okay, let's begin with the ladies. Okay, you are Miss Ballman. Okay, ma'am, you've been charged with one count of criminal trespass. I've set the bond at $1,500. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes.
There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from 2035 Mount Zion Road, also known as Publix. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for August 17th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Now, you didn't fill out your form. That means you're going to represent yourself or you're going to hire your own lawyer?
Yes, yes,
Okay. Uh, represent yourself or hire your own lawyer.
yes, represent myself.
Okay. Do do you have any questions for me, ma'am?
Yes.
What's your question?
Well, I go to Publix for my groceries and I also get my pharmacy, my medication from Publix.
Okay. Well, the allegation is that you were seemingly intoxicated and refused to leave the Publix. So that's where the criminal trespass is coming from.
So it was actually, wasn't with Publix per se. It was a certain person.
Oh, okay. I'm going to leave this provision here, ma'am. It doesn't mean you can't go to another Publix, but the allegation is that the store manager, Mr. Butler, and the police officer asked you several times to leave and you refused to leave.
Okay, yes. I
Okay.
understand. I
All right.
understand.
Any other questions, ma'am?
No, no other questions.
Okay. You're free to go back.
Just go ahead, wait. Okay. Ma'am, that's it.
Okay. So,
I understand.
Are you Miss Bridget?
no,
Tell me your name, ma'am.
Ms. Brooks,
Brooks. Okay. All right, ma'am. You've been charged with reckless conduct. I've set the bond at $1,500. Do you believe you can post that bond?
yes, yes, sir.
Going to be a preliminary hearing date set for August 17th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
I have a lawyer.
Okay. Do you have any questions for me, ma'am?
No, sir, thank you.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Okay, ma'am, okay, gotcha. State your name. Yolanda Campbell.
Ms. Campbell, you've been charged with one count of giving a false name, address, or date of birth. I've set the bond at $2,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes,
There's going to be a preliminary hearing date set for August 17th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
yes.
Okay, ma'am, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Thank you. So when we get Chastity Club.
Miss Claire, ma'am, you've been charged with one count of theft by conversion and one count of driving a vehicle without a license. I've set a total bond at $6,000. Do you believe you can post that bond? I'm sorry, ma'am?
We will have to see.
Okay. Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for August 16th because the theft by conversion is a felony offense. The date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yeah.
Okay. You do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, no, thank you.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back. Ms. Clark?
Yes,
Ma'am, you've been charged with one count of battery, one count of criminal trespass. I've set a total bond of $8,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
for how much, I'm sorry?
I'm sorry?
For how much?
$8,000, $5,000 for the battery, $3,000 for the criminal trespass.
Yes.
Okay, there's going to be a stay away provision on the bond to stay away from Shakuria Bridges and Flora Bridges. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for August 17th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, please.
Okay. You're on the edge, but I'm going to find that you do qualify for the appointment of a lawyer. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
No, no,
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back.
thank you.
Are you Miss Dennis?
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, you're charged with 1 count of battery, 1 count of cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. I've set a total bond of $8,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
There's going to be a stay away provision on the bond to stay away from an Idris Vaughn. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for August 17th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How much do you earn per hour or per month?
I just started a new job, so I'm a hairstylist.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got to be able to write something down. So how much do you make per hour? Or is it, just give me an estimate. I'm not going to hold you to it, but I do have to make a determination.
At least 200 a day.
Okay. I'm going to find that you qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me? Okay, ma'am. You're free to go back. Are you Miss Evans?
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, you've been charged with 1 count of criminal trespass, damage to property. I'm going to set the bond at $5,000. Do you believe you can post that bond? Okay. There's going to be a stay away provision on the bond to stay away from a Dolores Polite. Do you understand that?
That is okay.
I'm sorry?
I don't know who that is.
Okay. So allegation against you is that you intentionally damaged a car by breaking out the back window, and Miss Polite is alleged to be the owner of the car where the back window was broken out. Okay.
Okay.
Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, ma'am, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for August 17th. That date will get waived upon your bonding out. Deputy, would you do me a favor and turn the volume down a little bit on the?
How's that, Your Honor?
Okay. All right. That's much better. It's going to be August 17th at 8:30 in the morning, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out. I would encourage you to contact the bonding companies here because they will work with you.
Did you just say that my next court date is August
17th.
and it's June?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, y'all lost your goddamn.
Okay, ma'am. Are you Miss Luckett?
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, you've been charged with 1 count of battery. I've set the bond at $5,000. Do you believe you can post that bond? There's going to be a stay away provision on the bond to stay away. Is it Devonchi Grant?
The box, right?
Devonce? Okay. To stay away from Devonce Grant. Do you understand that? Your preliminary hearing date is set for August 17th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? Okay. You do qualify. Ma'am, I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Thank you.
Miss Rose, you've been charged with one count of battery. I've set the bond at $5,000. Do you believe you can post that bond? There's going to be a stay away provision in the bond to stay away from Shakuria bridges and Laura bridges. Do you understand that?
I understand.
I'm sorry.
I understand.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for August 17th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. You do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
No.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Rose.
Ma'am, you've been charged with one count of battery, one count of criminal trespass. I've set the total bond at $8,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
There's going to be a stay away provision on the bond to stay away from Shakuria bridges and Laura bridges. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for August 17th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, you do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back, ma'am. Are you?
Fine, you.
I'm doing fine. Did you say, what's your name?
Box.
Okay, sorry, ma'am. You've been charged with one count of theft by taking. Your bond has been set at $2,000. Your bond has been set at $2,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes.
Okay. Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for August 17th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay, you do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, thank you.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back.
Thanks.
Put my face next. Hello.
Hi, are you Miss White?
Yes, Rashima White Austin.
Okay. You've been charged with one count of battery, family violence. I set the bond at $5,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
There's going to be a stay away provision on the bond to stay away from Patrick Henderson. Do you understand that?
I do understand. He's watching my daughter right now. That's my baby. That's my baby daddy. Yes, I understand.
Okay, so if there is an issue between the two of you, like, fights happen, that kind of stuff, he can contact the Solicitor General's office and let them know that he's not afraid of you, and they will look into it, and they'll make a determination as to whether this provision should stay on. Because this is a one-sided event, I can't make that determination. He's listed as a victim, you're listed as an offender. So he may say, thank God that she was gone, because every night I thought she was going to kill me. Or he may say, this was something that just got out of hand. I love her. This is just, whatever. I don't know, and I can't make that determination today. But you're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for August 17th at 8:30 in the morning. The date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, well, about one question, sir, about Patrick Henderson going to court. I previously talked with him on the phone because he has our daughter taken care of. And he said he was going to go to court and, basically say it wasn't true and, basically say everything is fine and good and that sort.
I mean, and he can do whatever he deems is appropriate. I mean, he could get false statement felony charges or false report of a crime. I tell people all the time, the best way to drop charges is to never call the police in the first place. If you never call them, you never got to drop the charges. If you're going to drop the charges, don't call them. And so that's the thing that maybe sometimes people don't see it from the either the court side or the prosecutor side of why am I dealing with this paper? These are adults. These are people that are giving me work to do, and they're just essentially playing. And at some point, they're going to say, no, I'm not dropping. I don't care if you want to drop the charges. I'm prosecuting anyway. Okay. So that's just how it is. All right, ma'am, you're free to go back if you don't have any other questions.
Thank you, sir. That's all.
Okay. Deputy, I have one question.
Yes, Your Honor.
I have a person who it looks like their name is Paris Deshawn Bridget.
That's a male, Your Honor.
And okay, because it says male, but then when I'm reading through the warrant, it says her as like the offender. And I've had that a couple times. The lady Yolanda, because I separated out what was it? Yolanda Campbell. She's listed on the warrant as a man. And so when I see the name Yolanda, I'm like, that can't be a man. But I don't make any judgments about people's names because parents, they. But I'm gonna put them in the mail stack.
Understood, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, let's flip over to the mail side. We got Mr. Black.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Black, sir, you're charged with giving false name, address, date of birth, identity fraud, and forgery first degree. The identity fraud and the forgery first degree are felony charges, but it's all kind of wrapped around the same incident. So I've set a $2,000 bond for each offense. That's going to be a total bond of $6,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Because these are felony offenses, you're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for August 16th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you will get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Looks like you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me, Mr. Black?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, sir. You're free to go back.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Are you Mr. Bridget?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, sir, you've been charged with one count of aggravated assault and one count of criminal damage to property in the second degree. I've looked at this and I'm going to set a bond on the aggravated assault charge. And you're going to have a total bond set at $15,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Your Honor, is that $15,000 for both charges?
I'm sorry, sir.
Is that $15,000 for both charges?
Yes, total bond.
Yes, sir, I can pay that.
Okay. Excuse me, your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for August 16th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. I'm going to place a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from Daniela Moreno. Do you understand that?
Yes,
Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
No, Your Honor, I have my own lawyer.
Okay. All right, sir, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, sir, you're free to go back.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You're welcome. Mr. Brooks?
Yes, sir.
Sir, you're charged with one count of reckless conduct. I've set the bond at $1,500. You believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for August 17th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you currently working?
No, sir.
Okay, you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir.
All right, free to go back.
Hey, how you doing?
All right, you're Mr. Cochran?
Yes, sir.
Sir, you've been charged with 3 drug-related offenses, 1 weapon offense, and 1 possession or use of drug-related objects. I've set your total bond at $21,500. Do you believe you can post that bond?
No, sir, but I can try.
Okay. Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for August 16th because of these felony offenses. That date will get waived upon your ability to bond out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer, Mr. Cochran?
Yes, sir, but I'm still gonna try to get my own.
Okay. All right. I'm going to find that you do qualify. And if you choose to hire your own lawyer, just let the person in the public defender's office know so they can move on. Okay. Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, how much you say the bond will be?
It's going to be a total bond of $21,500. I said $5,000 for the 2 drug or 3 drug-related charges, $5,000 for the possession of a weapon during the commission of a crime, and then $1,500 for the use or possession of drug-related objects. Okay. Anything else, sir?
No, sir.
All right, you're free to go back. Is it Mr. Dabon?
Yes, sir.
Sir, you're charged with 1 count of commercial burglary. Cannot set bond on this offense at this time. I am going to set a preliminary hearing date for August 16th at 8:30 in the morning. You're going to also have a bond hearing date set for August 20th at 8:30 in the morning. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to find that you do qualify, sir. And I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
Yes, sir. I was wondering if there was any way to get a bond hearing, at an earlier date.
So because of the COVID related stuff and because we're working virtually, court dates have been extended out. However, the district attorney will sit down with your lawyer and work on a consent bond. If that works out, we don't care. They bring it over to us, we'll sign it, and it's done. So that'll be the way to get something done faster. Okay?
Consent bond, so the time frame for the consent bond is that still, like you said, August 20th?
Nope. It could be tomorrow, or it could be the day before your bond hearing. That's based upon what your lawyer is willing to work. The lawyer is willing to put in and try to sit down and talk to the prosecutor.
I got one more question. About the lawyer, about how long you think it would take to find out who it is and how I can get in touch with you?
So because it's a felony offense, it's going to be someone from the Clayton County Public Defender's Office. It's probably not going to get into their system today, but I send the paperwork over today. So if you haven't heard anything in a day or two, I would start calling.
All right, thank you.
Okay, you're free to go back. Mr. Dawson.
Good morning, sir. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. Sir, you've been charged with violation of a family violence order. This is a misdemeanor offense. You're going to have a bond set at $5,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir, I believe, sir.
There's going to be a stay away provision on the bond to stay away from Kimberly Dawson. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir, I'm fully aware of that, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, this could have been charged as aggravated stalking, and had it been charged as aggravated stalking, I would have no ability to set bond.
Yes, sir, and
Okay.
I appreciate that, sir. But,
So, yes, sir.
I spoke with I called the officers to take me to the house or whatnot, and then the lady, the dispatcher told me to wait in the front of the neighborhood until they get there. And when I see the police officer, that's when I went to them and I said, hey, I'm Mr. Dawson, and I don't know what went wrong. They say that I wasn't supposed to contact, but I did call the dispatcher, and that's phone calls records, but I appreciate the bond, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for August 17th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How much do you earn per hour?
I was making $15.
Okay. You do qualify, Mr. Dawson. And so I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. You may want to speak to your lawyer about if you have proof that you made that phone call, they will most likely dismiss these charges.
Yes, sir, and that's what I was, last night, the officer, he called the dispatcher, and she told me, she stated that I called.
Okay.
And I don't know what the people did, I say, yes, sir, I'm just happy to have a bond. I don't want to sit here, say anything that can hurt me or use against me, so thank you.
I understand. Okay, you're free to go back, Mr. Dawson.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. You Mr. Gooch?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You've been charged with 3 counts of terrorist threats or acts, 2 counts cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. I'm sorry, 3 counts of cruelty to children in the 3rd degree and 2 counts of battery. I've set bond on these offenses, but it's going to be a high bond. Let's see. Total bond is going to be set at $55,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Now, question 55,000, is that like the 10%?
Yes, sir. You can do cash, commercial, or property.
Okay, yes, I believe so, sir.
Okay, there's going to be a stay away provision on the bond, stay away from Tian Gooch, Amaya Williams, and Amari Williams. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for August 16th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to find that you do qualify, Mr. Gooch. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me, sir?
No, not really. I just don't see why it was so high. I understand I did whoop my child, but I just.
Well, if you're asking me why, I can tell you. Are you asking me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the first allegation is that you were choking your wife. Yes, that's the allegation. I'm saying the allegation. That you punched her in the face multiple times with a closed fist, that you, as they say, whooped your daughter, but corporal punishment on your stepdaughter because she was or you thought that she was having sex on Instagram. And all of this stuff occurred in front of the other kids. So it's $5,000 each. And you've heard, I think, if you've been sitting there, I've been consistently setting bonds at $5,000 for battery.
Yes, sir.
You've been charged with 2 battery counts. That's 10,000. The terroristic threats or acts, I've set those at 10,000
Yes, sir.
because there's an allegation of grabbing a weapon and pointing the weapon. So those are the allegations. Now, I don't know what happened. That's why we appoint lawyers so you can have your day in court.
Yes, sir.
But you're kind of on the had I probably had a bad morning, you probably would be sitting here with no bond.
Yes, sir. I understand.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Any other questions?
No, sir.
All right, you're free to go back.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Green,
How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing well, sir. You've been charged with 1 count of affray. The bond is automatically set by schedule at $1,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
I'm trying to talk to my people now, sir, and I got a question to ask you.
Okay, give me 1 second and
Yes, sir.
I'll come back to you. Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for August 17th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. For some reason, I'm not seeing your card. Are you your form? Are you currently working?
I was, sir.
I'm sorry.
I was, sir.
Okay. I'm going to find you qualified. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Now I cut you off. What was your question?
I'm trying to figure out, like, the charges I've been charged with. I was coming from the store, and this guy in my neighborhood, he was intoxicated, and this guy jumped on me, him, and his nephew. And I'm trying to figure out why I'm getting arrested for this. I'm protecting myself by defending myself with the act of fight. I don't understand it.
So the allegation of defense, that is a justification. So you've been arrested doesn't mean you're guilty. If you were jumped on and that's what it comes out to be, then you may not be guilty, but at its heart, affray is just fighting in public.
This is like an assault charge or anything?
No, it's so battery is there's one person doing something to somebody else. Simple battery, criminal trespass, that kind of stuff. Affray can be just 2 people fighting in public. So you and I go out into the yard and we're going to settle this like men.
Exactly.
That's affray. That's affray. It doesn't have to be one person jumping on another person, that kind of thing.
But also, she did explain that she was gonna come talk to me because she seen the whole thing. She seen the guy when he threw the first punch and everything, and she lied on top of that. Said she was gonna come talk to me. She ain't never did what the statement said.
Well, that's why we appoint lawyers as quickly as possible, so you can sit down with the lawyer and have that conversation, and the lawyer can defend you. I can't defend you. I hear what you're saying, but I can't verify any of that stuff because this is a one-sided deal.
And I got a child on the way, so I don't even supposed to be here. I was doing the right thing, give me no job, trying to pay for my child needs. I'm not a bad person, so I work constantly, like every 24/7.
I don't think anybody that appears before me is a bad person. I think people make
a person
hold on, Mr. Green. Mr. Green, hold on. It's a two-way conversation. I think people make poor decisions at times. And it's not that you're good or bad. It's, well, I made a bad decision at that point. Right? So you can get out of this. You can defend yourself. All of this stuff can happen after today's date. But you technically can be convicted of affray based upon just what you told me today.
So it's lower than a simple assault and a battery and everything too?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so.
It is fighting in public.
So it's not in the area of domestic violence?
No.
Okay, thank you.
No, it's fighting in public. That's all it is. I'm serious. It's as simple as that.
I just, cause I had wanted a better understanding because I really don't know what I'm afraid. I've never been charged with this, so I'm getting a clearer understanding with you. And I really appreciate that time for you, sir.
Yeah, no problem. I tell people all the time, there's so many ways that you can be arrested. And a lot of people don't understand that. So you can call me all kind of names. I'm going to get in my car and drive away. I'm not going to be rolling on the ground with you. I'm not going to be doing any of that stuff. Um, if I have to defend myself, it's probably going to be with putting some lead in somebody.
I agree.
Okay. But I'm not going to be that person that walking around, people pull out guns and all of that kind of stuff. If I have to defend myself, I'm going to retreat into a corner where I no longer can retreat anymore. And then I have to defend myself. But somebody saying something to me or whatever, it may make me upset, but it's not worth going to jail for.
I was getting attacked. I was walking down the street. I was getting attacked. I was coming down the street, and this guy, he had an issue with me. I don't know what it's about. And he got there drinking very loud, and he walked towards me and struck me. Now, how's I get arrested for that if I'm protecting myself? Like you said, I agree with what you said. That leg, I'm with you on that. But at the same time, I'm trying to predict this. I'm talking to the man. He have a beer in his hand. He strike and punch me on top of his nephew from behind him, and they jumped me. And they had a lady across the street who witnessed everything. That's why I asked you what the statement says. I got
well, no, I don't. All I have is the allegation that there was a fight. Now there'll be an incident report that is required to be written upon arresting anyone, and that will be more detailed. This is just making out the basic elements of the offense. Okay, so it's not like I got 5 witness statements or any of that kind of stuff. All the officer is required to do is make out the basic elements of an offense.
Okay, so what's the percent of $1,000?
$100.
Okay, I got it.
Okay. All right. Have a good day, Mr. Green.
Okay, you're a blessing.
You too. Mr. Hines.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. You're charged with 1 count of battery. Your bond has been set at $5,000. Do you believe you can post that bond? You don't know?
I don't know. I hope so.
Okay. Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for August 17th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from Regina Hamilton. Do you understand that?
I have a question for that once you finish.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I wanted to ask, how is it possible that I have to stay away from my daughter when we all live together? If I was to stay away from her, I would become homeless.
Okay. So the basic answer to that, because I get asked that question almost every day, is something happened that caused you to appear before me today. And I don't know what that is. You're getting a bond, you can get out. And we don't want whatever happened to cause you to come before me today to flare back up this evening. So we place a stay away provision on the bond. That stay away provision can be changed, but the person who's listed as the alleged victim has to say to the solicitor, I'm not afraid of this person. And the solicitor's office will look into it. And they will make their own determination as to whether they believe that this is a situation that is can be repaired or not. Because, and I say this to people like yourself all the time, right now there's somebody whose back door is getting kicked in and somebody's coming in to rob them or somebody's trying to do harm to them. We need our law enforcement officers dealing with those incidents, not refereeing adults. Okay, does that make sense to you?
That's what I was saying before they put me in pathway.
Right. So Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
I'd like to ask, based upon, pro se representation, will that hurt me in any way? If I represent myself?
Uh,
The reason why I'm
I'm-
asking is because I believe it's really simple. Even the nature of why I got arrested, all of this can be cleared up if adults can be adults.
right. So the thing is, I don't know you, and I don't know your ability to represent yourself and your own interests. You have the right to represent yourself, and we don't force lawyers on people. I'm a lawyer, and if I'm charged with an offense, guess what I'm going to do?
You get a lawyer.
Get me a lawyer.
Right,
Right. So it's up to you. You just tell me yes or no.
right. Honestly, I'm gonna trust in the Lord like I did since they, you know what I'm saying, locked me.
Okay. So I'm gonna put down pro se. Okay.
And I would
All right.
like to ask, like, and are you able to read the incident report of what was filed against me?
Okay, yes, I'll tell you. It says that you intentionally caused physical harm, visible harm to the victim, Regina Hamilton, by grabbing her arm and throwing her towards the wall. The offender and victim reside together. The offense occurred at an address on Cottage Lane in Conley, Georgia, Clayton County. That's the allegation. Okay. Anything else, sir?
Since I'm representing myself, how will I be able to get access to the charges that have been filed and the necessary paperwork that I will need to file as well?
Okay, so you can go to the clerk's office, and these are misdemeanor offenses, so it's a state court clerk's office. You can go to the police department, the agency that arrested you, to get the incident report. But those are the types of things that a lawyer knows, right? You don't have to ask anybody. A lawyer knows where to go to get the stuff. So do you want me to reconsider your decision, or you're gonna stick with your decision? So let me tell you this. I can appoint you a lawyer today, and you can fire the lawyer tomorrow. It's not like this is something that's gonna, be on you forever. But I'm just, from my observations, you may want to take the opportunity to have a lawyer, but that's up to you.
Maybe I could have him as counsel.
Okay. I'm gonna appoint a lawyer, and because you do qualify, and I'm gonna wish you a good day.
I just have one more question, if possible.
Okay.
This may not matter, but I've never been in this system before, so I was trying to understand, why wouldn't this necessarily be just dismissed?
Okay. I think I know the question you're asking. Right now, this is just the first step. Okay. So these charges could still get dismissed. I tell people, I use the doctor analogy because most people have been to the doctor. Right now, you have just walked into the doctor's office and signed your name on the waiting list. They hadn't even called you up to check the insurance card or any of that kind of stuff. So it's like when you walk into the doctor's office and you're signing on the little sheet saying, "Okay, doc, what I got? What's wrong with me?" And it's like, "Sir, I don't know." So you're at that stage. Okay. All right. Any other questions?
I guess the last question is how, like, this see, again, it's a complication because the same person that, I don't know if the state put the stay away order or they did themselves, they want to pay the bond. So, and I heard you tell someone earlier that the
They
person,
can't. They can't. You can go through a bonding company. I mean, they can give the money to the bonding company, and the bonding company can bond you out, but they cannot bond you out. And Mr. Hines, would you do me one favor? Take a deep breath and relax. Okay. I know this can be difficult to go through this kind of stuff, but these are just steps that you got to take. Okay.
I would like to say this, and then this will just be my final response. Just being truthful, you to I'm in serious fear for my life here, from the officers here. I've had an incident that happened to me here that, because of what brought me here, I don't think that that was warranted, to have things like teeth being knocked out of your skull because you're unclear about something. And instead of them having the decency to explain it to you, they'd rather use same type of force that was alleged that I've used. They use the same type of force. So now I got this real big fear about even being in here. Like I said, I haven't been in any type of trouble with the system in the state of Georgia. So for what I thought was chastising my child, and it got a little rough of the nature of it, why would I still have to be here? And then now, why would this have to happen to me? To where you said, take that breath, uptight breath come from, not saying that everyone that had this badge on is out to get me, but it's some officers that has done wrong unto me. And I don't feel comfortable in here. I haven't felt comfortable here since intake.
So, Mr. Hines,
Wow.
I understand that sentiment. Okay. I have not been in the situation that you're in, of what you're saying here today. I've been a lawyer for more than 20 years. And the reason I told the other young man about I just walk away is because when you put other people in your life, especially law enforcement, and they have the ability to do what they do, you're giving them the ability to kind of do the stuff that you just complained about. So all I could say to you is take the lesson, learn the lesson from whatever happened with you and your daughter, and just to the best you can, keep yourself out of those situations. Okay, sir?
All right.
Okay. All right. You're free to go back. Mr. Inman.
Come on, bro.
Sir, good morning. Sir, you charged with one count of theft by taking. I've set the bond at $5,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yeah, she gonna post it.
Okay. Well, I'm putting the stay away provision on the bond to stay away from Ebony Simmons.
Oh, she said she called, y'all would have dropped it. She the one bonding me out anyway. But she supposed to be coming to pick me up, so how can I do that?
Well, it's like it feels like a broken record sometimes. Of if people don't call the police would not be in their lives. I tell people all the time, I have yet to see the case where the police is just going knocking on people's doors saying, "Is there anything going on? I just want to arrest somebody today. Can I arrest somebody?" They get called. They get called out. They don't want to be in your life. So if adults act like adults, half of the people here wouldn't be before me. Because half of the stuff that I see is like battery and theft, and people get angry. And in my opinion, I'm a little bit older, as you can possibly tell. It's just people acting like kids. Ain't nobody grown up yet. Everybody want to be out here and be 16 years old. and think that, well, I can just do what I want to do, and then people gonna have to take it. And no, nope, nope. You gonna go to jail, and you're gonna be complaining about why I had to go to jail. Well, turns out somebody called 911, and I was sitting there trying to eat my sandwich when I had to put my sandwich down to drive out here to deal with adults. And I'm sorry for, like, but does that make sense to you? You see what I'm saying?
And then I'm locked up for stealing, and I ain't stolen nothing.
That's and honestly, it's like it's written as a felony, and it's because of the value. So it's like it was. This is the case with the purse, the Louis Vuitton purse. So
And the police got that, so how could I steal it? She said she called the ticket.
it doesn't. The theft happens when you take something without the other person's consent. Whether I drop it 5 seconds later, the theft occurs when I take something. Okay. So
It will never happen.
you're gonna have a bond. I mean, a preliminary hearing date set for August 16th. That date will get waived upon your bonding out. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Are you? How much do you make per hour?
I actually work for myself, I think.
Okay. I'm going to find that you qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any other questions for me, Mr. Inman?
When she bond me out to come get me, you mean I can't get in the car with her and leave? I'm gonna have to walk.
So I'll say this. You've been told by the court not to do that. Whatever you choose to do is whatever you choose to do. But I also tell people in your position that I'm almost been married 20 years. My wife has never called the police on me. I've never called the police on her. We've had arguments and disagreements, but to the extent that you're with somebody and that person is calling the police and you got to pay bond money, you got to be in jail. If that's the life that you want to live, sounds like she's gonna give it to you.
No, she's doing it because I'm with somebody else. Oh, we're not.
Hey. All right. Anything else, Mr. Inman? Okay, sir, you're free to go back. Mr. Laney.
Sir.
Mr. Laney, do you know what you're charged with, sir?
False accusation from my daughter trying to.
Mr. Laney, do you know what you're charged with, sir? Okay. I cannot set bond for these offenses. Okay. I've set a preliminary hearing date for August 16th at 8:30 in the morning. I've set a bond hearing date for August 20th. There's going to be a stay away provision on this, a stay away from Micaiah Milam. Do you understand that? Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No. Thank you.
Okay, you're free to go back. Mr. Moran?
Yes, sir.
All right, you've been charged with 1 count of theft by shoplifting, 1 count of giving a false name, address, or date of birth. I've set a total bond of $4,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
I can work on it, sir.
Okay, you're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for August 17th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Sir, please.
Okay, you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back. Mr. Morrow.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Good morning. We've stretched out into the afternoon. I've been talking too much. You've been charged with 1 count of driving a vehicle with the expired or invalid tag, 1 count of driving under influence, and 1 count of obstructing an officer. I've set a total bond of $7,500. Do you believe you can post that bond?
I'm gonna try, sir.
Okay. Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for August 16th at 8:30 in the morning. They've charged you with the obstructing an officer as a felony. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
They charged me, they told me up in the front that it was a misdemeanor.
Well, so from what I have, the officer has checked it as a felony. The way that they've described it, it could be a misdemeanor or a felony. That's something that's going to have to get hashed out at a later date. Obstructing an officer becomes a felony when there's offering or doing of violence to the officer. So the allegation in your case is about trying to put handcuffs on and you're jerking away from them.
Yes, sir.
But it just, that's how it's been charged.
Yes,
And I'm sorry, I didn't remember whether you wanted me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer or not.
yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Morrow. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes, sir. Is it possible that they can just give me time served at my court date when I go home?
That's possible. Okay, anything else?
How would I really know if it's at my court date? That's when I know if it's a misdemeanor or felony, because they would tell me in the front there was they just pulled it up that it was a misdemeanor. Cause like you said, I was already in cuffs and I didn't.
Right. So it like I said, it depends. I could see it going either way based upon what they've written down.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Any other questions, sir?
No, sir.
All right. You're free to go back. Mr. Passmore.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
Hi, sir. You've been charged with 1 count of criminal trespass. I've set the bond at $1,500. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
There's going to be a stay away provision on the bond to stay away from an Alexis McKnight. Do you understand that?
Who?
It says Alexis Nakia McKnight.
Wow. Okay. Can I ask you a question?
Give me 1 second and I'll let you ask the question. Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for August 17th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Sir?
Okay, you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Now, what was your question?
What is a criminal? I mean, what makes it a criminal trespass?
So the allegation in your case is that you removed the personal items of Alexis McKnight from this Majesty Lane address, and that they have pictures of you driving a gray GMC, and they describe what they believe you were wearing. And it says that you removed several plastic bins of the victim's clothing, along with items for her child. And it says the victim was not evicted from the home, nor does she have an active restraining order against her. The offender and victim do live together, and you are the stepfather of the victim. That's the allegation.
Right. Okay.
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 All right. Anything else, sir?
Well, sir, thank you, though.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Good evening.
You too. Mr. Singleton?
Your Honor.
Yes.
Mr. Singleton earlier, Deputy Cox.
Oh, that's the person that I'm going to have to continue to tomorrow.
Yes, we have the two fugitives there. You want to work together?
Uh-huh.
All right, sir.
So I have Willie Mitchell and Joseph Morgan.
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Mitchell, raise your hand, please. All right. So, Mr. Mitchell, you've been alleged to be a fugitive from, looks like it says you're wanted out of Broward County. on a grand theft warrant. And Mr. Morgan, it appears that you're wanted out of Alabama, Montgomery, Alabama, for a parole violation. Both of you are going to be in a similar boat. And before I go through this whole spiel, I'm going to ask, have you had an opportunity to speak to someone about the fugitive from justice warrant?
Yes, I have, yeah.
And does either one of you, have you made up a decision right now whether you want to waive or not?
I'm gonna waive mine.
I mean, they see I can sign something for them, I want to go on sign.
Hold on, Mr. Morgan. Mr. Mitchell, you said you're going to waive. Okay. Do you have the paperwork to waive? All right. When you sign that, they're going to send it to me, and then the clock will start ticking today. Mr. Morgan, I interrupted you, sir. What were you saying?
They had told me that I can sign something for them to come give me the federal aid. I want to sign it.
Okay, that's the waiver. Now, do either one of you have any questions about this process?
No, sir, I just went through this process. I just passed Saturday.
Yes, sir, I got a question.
Okay. So Mr. Mitchell, you can step off the camera, sign the waiver, and you can go back. Mr. Morgan, what's your question?
Yes, sir, they got me down here for non-driver license. Like, do I have to make that bond or anything? Or I just gotta wait on them to come get me?
So you currently have a charge here in Clayton County?
Yes, I'm in here for a non-driver license. I've been here since Sunday morning.
Okay. Did you post bond on that? Or have you posted bond on that?
Well, actually, I got a paper in my pocket, actually. It said, I made this thing real. It said $2,000 property bond, $900.32 cash bond, plus the $4 bond fee, or be released 6/29/21 yesterday for free, but wanted by Montgomery Department of Corrections.
Okay. From what you just read to me, it appears like you are now in a position to be sent to Montgomery.
So I'm just waiting on them to come get me, basically.
Yes, sir. Any other questions?
No, sir. I just wanted to make sure I ain't have to make no bond or anything over there.
Okay. All right. Well, make sure you sign the waiver, and then you'll be free to go back.
Yes, sir.
All right. Have a good day.
This will start today?
Yes, sir. All right. I do apologize for running on, but sometimes I feel like people have to at least hear some truth. So thank you for your assistance and have a good day.
All right, you too, sir. Thank you.